Men and women, welcome to CJ Unplugged. The Menendez brothers might be released from prison after nearly 30 years. This is a crazy story. Now, I've not been watching the documentary or TV show on Netflix, whatever it is. I'm not even sure if it is a documentary. It seems like the Dahmer one, where it's just Hollywoodizing a horrible story. So I don't know if, I know there's actors in it. I don't think it's a documentary. Maybe I should watch it and fill in it. The whole nation's watching it right now. I don't get the whole thing for it. I think women just love murder and nothing is new. I mean, you women just love watching like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Menendez brother, whatever it is. If somebody dies, if somebody gets murdered in a the more horrific, the better. If someone dies a horrific death, the more bodies and the more gruesome, the better it is for Netflix and Hulu to come sliding in and put a dollar sign on it and then just get some top name actors, or not even top name actors, maybe B-list actors who become A-list actors after these shows and movies, whatever it is. I mean, who did Ted Bundy? What's his face? I know him. I'm just forgetting the name. You get it, okay? The more gruesome these murders and horrific, where you can't even watch them. I could hardly get through the Dahmer. I watched the Dahmer series, I'm not going to lie. And it was tough. I also watched the Ted Bundy one that I cannot remember. Ben something? I don't remember. Cool, good, attractive guy. I'm not, no homo. Anyways, I watched the Ted Bundy movie and the Dahmer series, so maybe I need to hop into the Menendez series. Maybe it's worth watching. I have not been watching TV shows or movies that often. I've been watching football. All right, it's football season. That's all. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Thursday through Monday is just football, college football and NFL. I have a fantasy football team that I'm coaching. It's very important. I'm not doing great. Okay, I'll admit. I'm not last, okay, but it's not looking great. But I don't really have time because in the other days, Tuesday and Wednesday are comedy. So it's literally, think Thursday through Monday is football. Tuesday and Wednesday is comedy. I don't have time for these TV shows. I work a job. I got other stuff. I have friends. I have a social life, a little one. It's not super social, but we're working on it. Anyways, I have not watched this new show. I don't even know if it's new. I'm assuming it's new, or maybe it's people are just watching it because of the story coming out right now with the Menendez brothers. And there's a new court case going on. They're presenting new evidence that might free them. Now, I highly doubt that. Well, if somebody's in prison for 30 years, I don't know if I'm assuming they pleaded not guilty. And obviously there wasn't enough evidence in the first place to let them off. But we also know that they claim their parents abused them and some horrible stuff. So I don't know what kind of evidence is going to come out. It's going to get them scot-free. But this is a big news story. It says here, relatives of Lyle and Eric Menendez on Wednesday called for their release from prison after more than 30 years in the Los Angeles County District. And because there's new evidence in the murder of their parents. More than 24 relatives of the brothers. So everyone's in behind this. Obviously, if your twin brothers got sexually harassed and whatever else happened. I haven't read the case. Maybe I should have brushed. I constantly do this. I just don't read information. I don't know this. I know the story. It was two brothers. They shot their parents point blank downstairs while they were watching TV. Pretty horrific. And people are in defense, I think, of them because like when you're sexually assaulted and abused and all that, it's kind of understandable. But at the same time, murder is murder. It's not. Let's not get that twisted, but obviously what happened to them was horrible. So it is tricky. I think they're in prison for life, I assume. I'm not sure. But in 1996, the Menendez brothers were convicted and sentenced to life in prison. There it is. Probably should just keep reading, we're just gonna read the story first and then we're gonna debate. All right. Without the possibility of parole for shooting the deaths of their parents, Jose and Kitty. What kind of name is Kitty? Is she a stripper? Was Jose a pimp? I don't know what's going on here. Although they've never denied killing their parents, both men maintained they've never denied killing their parents. What kind of evidence can you present to a court to say, let them out of prison? 30 years is a long time. I think they're trying to get it into self-defense, because they're being abused. But I don't think getting a shotgun or handgun, whatever it is, and walking downstairs to your parents watching reruns of Gilligan's Island and shooting them point blank and painting the walls is self-defense, right? You can tell people, you can run away, You can maybe shoot them when they're actually attacking you. I think that would be a better case for the police to look at, if they saw. This is also way before social media and phones and some technology and whatever video cameras were probably not cameras. Security cameras were probably a thing around then, but it's not very common a household item to have like a Ring. There was no Ring doorbell. Okay, the cops couldn't look at the Ring doorbell or Amazon Alexa or whatever it is. Couldn't spy on you through your iPhone or Samsung is what I'm saying. So, curious to know what the kind of evidence this is. It might get me to watch the TV show. I don't know why these white girls are just so obsessed with this true crime. That's a thing that needs to be studied, which I'm sure it is being studied. But I think there actually is studies on it. Maybe we'll look into that some other time. But it is interesting. I mean, I think everybody's somewhat oddly satisfied with serial killers and murderers and the whole stuff. And one argument is because they want to know to protect themselves, like to be ready for that situation. But realistically, buy a handgun, ladies. If you're 21, if you're a lady and you're 21 years old, buy a handgun. Honestly, watching these shows and carrying pepper spray isn't going to get you very far. Buy a handgun and carry it on you at all times. That's my advice. Okay, go get a Glock 43. The Glock 43 is very small, very nice. P365, I think it is. Whatever. Just get a small concealed handgun. Okay, that'll keep the bad dudes away. Trust me, it's better than a knife or pepper spray or whatever it is you think you're going to do after watching these TV shows. Is this like an inspirational thing? Like when I watch the Tavon Austin highlights, on YouTube, and I'm like, I want to play better football. Like when I watch sports highlights of LeBron James and Tom Brady in their college and early NFL years, is this the same thing? Like when the ladies watch these true crime things, do they just feel inspired like they could do a better job if they got attacked? Let me know in the comics, because I'm truly curious why. I'll always be curious why women are so intrigued with the true crime and murder and stuff. We might never know. Moving on to our next fun story, and before we get to this, I have a special announcement. Listen up, okay? Special announcement. I will be doing a 10-minute spot on a comedy show, a feature, this Sunday at Trailbreaker Cider. That is in Liberty Lake. Liberty Lake is right next to Spokane Valley. It's its own city, apparently, and they're special. But yes, Liberty Lake, Washington. I believe it's 7 p.m. Could be 6 or 7 p.m., somewhere around there. I will post the details on my stories. This Sunday, October 20th evening. And I'll be doing a 10-minute feature on the show. Be posting on my Instagram. If you're in the area and you're free, come see me. It would be great. It's going to be fun. I have a really tight set and practicing all my best jokes. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a great opportunity for me. I'm very excited to do this. So yeah, if you're free on the October 20th Sunday, come see me. I'll be posting more details on my Instagram. The next story is a woman pleads guilty to trying to smuggle 29 turtles across a Vermont lake into Canada by kayak. Now, props to this woman. I don't know. She is stealing them from America, so if it was vice versa, if we got some Canadian turtles, which maybe we don't want Canadian turtles. But this is a cool looking turtle, not going to lie. It could just be a picture of a random turtle. But I don't know how you fit 29 turtles, and how specific. 29? Like, did she count them out? Did she grab? Is there like, how there's like a weight limit on elevators and like the little like bicycles or something? There's like a weight like 4,000 pounds, whatever. They should start putting on kayaks like a turtle limit. Fits 30 turtles. This must have been the limit. She must have hit the weight limit on the kayak is all I'm saying, because 29 is a decent amount. And the kayak's the one you get inside of. You put your legs in there. Can you imagine just having a bunch of turtles crawl around your legs? That would be a weird feeling, and I would not be a fan of it. They have sharp claws. Have you guys ever... Don't they bite too? I mean, how... I would not mess around with the turtles. I mean, I guess a snapping turtle. You've seen the snapping turtle videos where they get like a carrot or a stick in there, and it just breaks it in half. And I know it's a snapping turtle, but all turtles have a pretty sharp beak, whatever you call it. I think it's called a beak. I mean, their face looks like a bird. If you got a picture of a hawk... I'm actually seeing it. It looks more like a dinosaur, but like a hawk and a turtle, they have a very bird-shaped face. Now their snout's a little shorter, but I think it's called a. I forgot already. Anyways, I would not want those sharp claws, and they're like wet and slimy and scaly, and they can bite, just swimming around my toes, little piggies. I mean, by the end of the trip, how many toes did this woman have left? A woman from do they eat turtles in China? Because a woman from China pleaded guilty on Friday to attempting to smuggle 29 eastern box turtles, a protected species, across a Vermont lake into Canada by kayak. Wan Yi. Okay, NG is not even a last name. Hua Ying, Wan Yi Ng. I appreciate the English language sometimes because we have vowels, and in order to make a word, it requires a vowel. I don't know how NG is a... okay, we're not going to... Chinese culture, we get it. Anyways, we're just going to go Wan Yi. We're going to call her Yi. Yi, not Kanye, not Ye, Yi, was arrested on the morning of June 28th. Wow, this is an old story, but it's just coming out now. This is not old news. All right, I guess she's just being prosecuted. The story just coming out. Was arrested on June 28th at an Airbnb in Canaan as she was about to get into the inflatable kayak. How an inflatable kayak with these sharp turtle claws? This woman was brave. Either she was very brave and confident, or she didn't do any research about turtles at all, and she had no idea that they had sharp beaks and claws. But she took a chance with a duffel bag. So she had them in a duffel bag. That's even worse. Where's that duffel bag going to fit? I don't know what kind of size kayak this woman has, but the kayaks I've ridden are not very big. I don't know where you fit a duffel bag on those. But maybe the top, like you could get on the top and you strap it on. I don't know. I wish there were pictures. So yeah, she had a duffel bag on Lake Wallace, according to Border Patrol agents. Well, we're glad the Border Patrol is doing their job, right? Now they might be letting in 20 million immigrants in the southern border from China and Iran and Russia and South America and all over the place. And they might be letting them into our country without a background check and no idea who they are. But hey, at least they're getting the turtle smugglers. Can we get a round of applause for that? I mean, they're not doing nothing, right? We're paying them for something. The Canadian border is just strong, dude. We're not letting any Canadians in. No maple drinkers are coming across the border illegally, right? Probably not. And then the turtle smugglers, we got them. Don't even try to smuggle 29 box turtles across the lake because they're going to get you, okay? Now, they're not going to get all the gang members coming in from prisons and insane asylums from the southern border that are going to end up killing people in Colorado, but they're going to get the turtle smugglers. That's a plus. That's a win for us, right? The agents have been notified by Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I don't know what that means. Horse riders? Sounds like mounted police. That two other people, including a man who is believed to be her husband, had started to paddle an inflatable watercraft from the Canadian side of the lake toward the United States. The agents searched her heavy duffel bag and found 29 turtles, individually wrapped in socks. Whoa. Eastern box turtles are known to be sold on the Chinese black market for $1,000 each. They're definitely eating them. They're definitely cutting those poor things up, eating them, and then using the shell as like a hat or a dinner plate. Like, think about China, you know, like not the country, but the plates and the dishes. Like, they're just using turtle shells for that now. Expensive China is no longer a thing. Chinaware, whatever you call it. Now they're just using turtle shells as cups and bowls and probably millions of other things, but individually wrapped in socks. Now let's clarify, used socks or fresh socks? Because if they were fresh socks, let's knock 5 years off for prison sentence. Let's just be fair. Used socks, life in prison, no parole. Okay? Menendez brother treatment. Life in prison without chance of parole. Easily for both of them. Her cell phone was seized and a search by law enforcement found communications showing that she had tried to smuggle the turtles into Canada so that they could eventually be sold for a profit in Hong Kong. From Hong Kong, she was living in Canada. So she's from Hong Kong and she was living in Canada. Now, at least she wasn't doing the smuggling from the United States to China, right? She took it over to Canada, which I do appreciate. That's less work for us. Right now, our Border Patrol agents, or whoever it was, might have been Canada's, we caught her, okay? So we had a little bit of heavy lifting. But she was at least polite enough not to burden us, our law enforcement, our justice system, our time and resources with this whole thing. And instead, she decided to smuggle them out of Canada. That's pretty considerate. You know what? Let's knock another 2 years off her sentence. If those were fresh socks from Walmart and she was smuggling them out of Canada, let's knock a total of 7 years off her prison. I think that's fair. I think if the punishment is 30 years, knocking 7 off, 23. Let's do 29 years for one for every turtle, right? A year for every turtle. That sounds. I mean, I'm no lawyer or attorney, but I think a year per turtle, 29 years, knock off 7, 22 years. Now that sounds pretty fair to me. I think this woman, how old was she? I don't know if it said. 41. So she'll be out in her 60s. That's not too bad. That's plenty of time to rethink her life and maybe not smuggle turtles. But she pleaded guilty on Friday to one court of unlawfully attempting to export and send 29 eastern box turtles out of the United States. I don't know if I've ever seen one of these turtles before. I mean, they're yellow and black. They look cool, but I don't know if they're in my area. So she is scheduled to be sentenced in December and faces up to 10 years in prison. Not enough. Not enough. Unless it was 17 and got knocked down to 10. 10 is... That's okay. All right. Well, and a $250,000 fine. Let's do 10 years and the fine, and we'll call it good. Right? Right. I'm very excited this week. I get to go to... Actually, tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, I get to go to Scarywood. And for those of you who are outside the Pacific Northwest and do not know what Scarywood is, first of all, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm very sorry to hear that. Number two, I'll fill you in on what Scarywood is. It is an event here in the Pacific Northwest, a sacred event in northern Idaho, and it's an annual event. It is a cult initiation that only happens in October on the weekends, and it is an event where they take you and a group of friends into the woods, deep somewhere into the woods, northern Idaho, no cell service, nothing. They take your phones and your flashlights, and they just give you like some Band-Aids and chapstick, and that's all you have for, it's not very long, it's a few hours, but getting sidetracked. They take you up into the woods, and usually a group of around 5 to 10 people, and then they just dress up in scary costumes and run around and grab your ankles and do stuff like that. And then the last person standing, or the last group, it's kind of like the Hunger Games. You remember like when Katniss and Peeta, like they were together and there's only supposed to be one, but they were going to kill themselves. Anyways, if there's 2 or 3 people left and time's running out, they'll let them all in. But last man standing gets initiated into the cult. It's like at a secret society, a high society, whatever it is, I forget the names of one, like a secret society. That's how it is. Like the controllers of the Pacific Northwest is not Seattle. It's not Portland. It's not the Proud Boys. Okay, let's get that straight. The people that control the Pacific Northwest is the secret society that I'm trying to get into tomorrow. All right, I've attempted this multiple times. There is somebody singing outside my studio. It is very loud. I do not know what's happening. I hope the mic doesn't pick that up. I don't know it's a Wednesday afternoon. I don't know what's going on out there. But back to my story. I've attempted to get into the secret society for many years now. I think since the age of 16. I'm 21 now. It's been 5 years. I've gone almost every year. And we don't have to go into the details, not to get into the weeds, but I didn't make it out. Let's just say that. So I'm confident this year. I haven't been in a few years. It's been a while. COVID happened, and then it kind of sucked. But they started hiring, migrant workers, whatever. They were actually more scary because they didn't have anything to lose, right? Like if you're an American and you're a scare and your job is to scare people, you're kind of like, oh, I can't go too far or else I'm going to lose my job. I have like a house and kids and a family and I got to pay my mortgage and stuff. But if you're an illegal immigrant that doesn't even have a home address or a voter license, driver's license, ID, whatever it is, you don't have much to lose, right? So the grabbing the ankles kind of turns into like slashing your Achilles with a knife. Sometimes that happens, not to me, but thankfully it didn't happen to me. That does happen though. So those years I skipped out on those years. It was during COVID. They were desperate for hiring. But now it's 2024. COVID's over, right? And I'm going back and I'm confident I will be the last one standing. I will kill some. Am I allowed to say? I will make sure I'm the last person standing one way or another. Okay. So let's get that out of the way. I'm not afraid to get violent with, even if they're my friends. I'm sorry. This is very important to me. So I will do what I must and I'll keep you guys updated if I join or not. But moving on to our next story. A suspect discovered hiding in a couch on police body cam while serving an arrest warrant. Now, this happened in UK. A man tried to hide in a couch, which I've always thought in my apartment where I would hide if I were getting arrested. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Listen, police, Spokane Valley Police Department, listen up. I'm a law-abiding citizen. If you try to come and arrest me, most likely, depending on the terms, I will give myself up and I will go peacefully, right? Most terms. Now, if you are trying to break into my home, if you are a home intruder, first of all, probably get shot. But if I don't have my gun, if I can't get to my gun, my firearm, I don't know what YouTube's gonna take down. I'm genuinely scared this whole thing just gonna get cut and X-nayed. But I think I'm allowed to say firearm on this podcast, right? YouTube, leave me alone. Anyways, if I somehow did not have my pew stick, my lead dispenser, portable lead dispenser, it's called that, safe word. I've always thought where I would hide, and I'm not going to tell you on the podcast. First of all, I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm not going to give you guys ideas, but I think every man fantasizes about this, right? In school, in church, at work, at your home, like where the best hiding spot is if the government and the feds try to come find you. I think I have a spot picked out, but the couch is certainly not one. Under the bed, in the closet, and the couch are like the top three the spots, right? I mean, get inside the oven at that point, right? Climb inside the ceiling tiles. Do something creative. Dig a hole in your... remember the scene in Star Wars, the Millennium... Wow, words hard to say. Millennium Falcon, when Han Solo and whoever it was... I think it was Han Solo and Luke. I don't remember. They hid in that little compartment under the Millennium Falcon. Build one of those in your house. Get creative. That's all I'm saying. This dude wasn't very creative. Police in the UK found their suspect in what they're calling a first... Well, that's exciting. Imagine being on that job, right? Coming home and being like, babe, cannot wait to tell you this story. That'd be a pretty fun thing to tell in a retirement home for the rest of your life. So welcome for them. Calling it a first while executing a search warrant in an unlikely location, according to the body cam footage. Police shared the video via Facebook in a post which is now over 138,000 views on the site. Well, it's not that great. I mean, not even 1 million yet. In order to call it viral, we gotta hit 1 million. The suspect is seen from behind his undergarments. This dude, by the way, I'll probably be able to show an image here. Straight cheeked out. I mean, this dude is in his undies. No shirt, no socks, no service. Like, this dude could not walk into a Wendy's and get a Dave's Double. I'll just say that. And this underwear, I mean, it's not covering much. It's kind of slipping. This would be so embarrassing to be found like this. Now, hiding under your couch or inside your couch being fully clothed is already bad enough because you got caught. But being in your underwear has got to be so embarrassing. I want to know what this guy was getting arrested for, what the warrant was for. It's not going to list what the warrant was for? Oh, boring. The suspect was found wearing only his undergarments. His undergarments, very UK. His undergarments. He is only in his undergarments. Such a funny word they have over there. For unclear reasons. Well, you caught the dude at a bad time. Let's just say that. That is funny, though, that they didn't ask him, hey, sir, why were you in your underwear? Why were you in your undergarments, sir? Was there a reason? For our last story, Marco's Pizza in Texas, if that's familiar for any of you Texans, is standing on business this week as one of their employees, or multiple of their employees, beat up a man trying to rob the store. A gun-wielding suspect trying to rob the store. Now, typically, most of the time, someone has a gun and are robbing maybe even a bank, but like a gas station or a small store like this. It's usually a prop gun or an unloaded gun. These people don't have any intention on killing anybody. Unless you're in Chicago or Detroit or, probably Portland. If I was working at a gas station in Detroit or Portland, my days would be so numbered. I mean, I would kiss my wife and kids every day, every chance I got. It would be like in prison when they have like the tally marks of how many days I've been in there. I'd have tally marks in the gas station bathroom of how many days I've survived. And it wouldn't get up that high, right? I'm guessing the average turnaround's 25 days. Anyways, back to the story. A gun-wielding suspect gets beaten up by employees at a pizzeria he tried to rob, police say. Employees in Texas took justice into their own hands when a man tried to rob the restaurant last week. Richard Curtis, 19, this dude was 19 years old trying to rob a pizza place, was charged with aggravated robbery, according to Fox 7. He allegedly walked into Marco's Pizza in Austin around 7 o'clock on Thursday and approached the employee. He then showed the employee a gun in his waistband, and the quick-thinking employee grabbed the suspect, put him in a chokehold, and his coworker called the police. There's an image of this dude's face. A lot more went on than just the chokehold, because this dude is missing, might have already been missing both his eyebrows, and got a pretty good facelift, if you will, a little Botox action from what it looks like. And it looks like he has a nose piercing. Goofy looking dude. While the employee and Curtis were fighting, the manager of Marco's Pizza lifted Curtis's gun from his waistband. Exactly, here we are. The manager allegedly tried shooting Curtis, but the gun didn't fire. And probably a good thing, right? If you have a gun, if you stole the gun from the suspect and then just shot him, probably going to jail. Not going to lie. Probably going to jail. Now, it's Texas, and they might look at it and say, well, he came into the store with a gun. He would self-defense. But you now have the only lethal weapon assumed. He might have another one in his pocket. Chances are not likely. But you can't exactly just grab someone's gun, back up, and blast the guy. Wouldn't be mad if you did. Sometimes these people deserve it, right? The criminals, bad people. And when you do this, you're sacrificing. If you go into a store with a gun, first of all, you are signing up for the fact that you're probably going to die. So can't feel bad for him. But the gun didn't fire. So like I said, I predicted it. It's the one of many times. Oftentimes, I'm right where I don't have to read the story, and I just know that these thieves usually don't have a loaded gun. It's a fake gun, prop gun, whatever. Seeing that the gun wasn't working, the manager pummeled Curtis in the handle. Seeing that the gun wasn't working, the manager then pummeled Curtis with the handle of the gun. Attaboy. At one point, the manager grabbed the knife from the kitchen and asked Curtis if he was preferred. This is Texas right here. This is awesome. Listen to this, guys. You're going to love this. That's why I'm moving here, dude. At one point, the manager grabbed a knife from the kitchen and asked Curtis if he preferred death or prison. Yeah. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, kill him. Yep. I'd be like, right here. Right here. I ain't going to join Diddy. I seen how they ended up with Epstein and stuff. Fox reported that one employee was injured during the incident and was later treated for a head wound. And they're investigating the incident. No additional details at this time. I have another complaint to make, unrelated to the story. Great man, by the way. Manager at Marco's Pizza. You did it, dude. You upheld the American and Texas law, which is you try shooting them at point blank and then ask them if they prefer prison or death while holding a knife to their throat. That is very American in Texas. Proud of you. Good on you. Anyways, my complaint came in here late, as I do. I'm always late. I schedule 2 hours for this podcast, and I only ever record around 1. Just in case, right? Something goes wrong. And it has happened before, right? There are always chances of something going wrong. That's why I schedule it 2 hours, even though I don't record that long. And I'm always late. Besides the point. I came in here. Everything looked okay. Pretty normal. Until I got to the laptop, where I noticed the laptop was dead. It was left up and on, and the soundboard was on. Everything was left on. And I tried turning on the laptop, and it was dead. And I thought, that's a little funny. It got unplugged. And why did it get unplugged? Because whoever was in here last, and I know the people, I know the names, and I know the podcast. Not going to name them. They don't deserve that shout out. They don't deserve it. I mean, maybe they do because they did a bad thing. But we're not going to give them that credit, okay? I looked them up. Got their names. I know who you are if you're listening, okay? I know what you did. Anyways, they had unplugged the charging port, which is a Type-C charging, to plug in a different Type-C USB thing. And let me explain. It was a group of women, okay? That explains a lot. At first, I was mad, and I was like, and then I looked up the podcast, a group of women. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. Can't be mad at them. There's 2 Type-C charging ports right next to each other. All you had to do was plug that into the other Type-C charging port. But they unplugged the charger and plugged the other thing in and left it there. So I came into a dead laptop and had to wait 10, 15 minutes for it to charge. So thank you, ladies. Can't be mad. Women are women. They'll do what they do, right? I'm not the best at technology either, I'll admit it. But it's not that hard to figure out that there's 2 Type-C ports right next to each other and you can charge and plug something in at the same time. It's crazy. I mean, is this some sort of prank? Did they know I was coming in here? Is this a sabotage? Maybe. I don't know how you can be that silly with technology. I'll be kind. But yeah. Another fun personal story. I walked into the studio, and as I got off the elevator, I had to pee so bad. I mean, I was moving straight to the bathroom. TMI. But I get off the elevator, and inside the elevator coming up, I hear screaming. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be exciting. I get to my level, or the level of the bathrooms, and I walk out, and there's just a woman screaming at police and security. And everyone's looking, right? The whole staff here is looking at him. People in the library are looking at him. The problem is, when you live in a downtown, well, I don't live here. When you're in a downtown area where there are meth heads and crack heads and homeless people and drug addicts, you can't look at them while they're having an outbreak, a public freak out, a crash out. You can't. Because that's what they want, right? When they scream and yell and do these things, they want people to notice, right? They want to suck in any people, and then they're going to ask you for change. You have to keep walking, okay? Now, if they're asking you for change, if they're sitting there on the side of the street, okay, that's a different story, right? If they're just doing them, that's a different story, okay? But when they're having a crash out, you can't acknowledge it because that's what they want. It's like a crying child, right? You have to keep walking. I don't understand how people here haven't got that in there yet. Maybe they're new to the area, but everyone stopped and looked. It's like, no, don't stop and look. Keep walking. Don't acknowledge it. I got off the elevator, walked straight to the desk, asked for the back room. You know what I did? I got straight off the elevator, walked up to the desk, asked for the bathroom pass, and went to the bathroom. I took a slight glance, but as I was walking, that's the key. I didn't walk up to the situation. I didn't ask anybody about the situation. I didn't say, what's going on over there? Because I already know what's going on. A crackhead just having a freak out. That's all. It probably stole a book, probably urinated in a corner somewhere, probably was falling around some kids. Who knows, right? Who knows? Could be anything. It happens here a lot. It's downtown, right? It's public space. It happens. But word of advice, just keep walking. You're not the FBI, okay? You're not a detective. You don't need to investigate. It's not a true crime scene, ladies, all right? Just keep walking. Let the police and security handle it. If there isn't police and security, go get them. Call them or something. But you're not a hero, and you're also not a news reporter or a journalist. So let's not write a story about it. Let's not give them what they want. Let's just keep walking, fellas, all right? Just keep going about your day. Election week is coming up. This will be, 3 weeks? 4? 3 weeks away? Yeah, start of November. We'll see how it goes. I have not gotten my ballot in yet. I don't even know what's going on. I went to go, I thought I was registered to vote because I turned 18 a while ago, right? So I thought I registered to vote because you can do that when you sign up for college, I think. Something with FAFSA or whatever. There's a button somewhere you can hit register to vote because they already have all your information, right? So I think what they do is when you register to vote through college, they already have all your address and all that jazz. So they just send it over to the voting thing and then you're registered. But I've not received a ballot, and I've been through 3 different websites to register. And I thought I registered. Turns out I registered for something else. So I probably just gave my information to China and Iran. I should have done my homework. I don't know what website to go to. Okay. There's so many different websites. There's Washington State one, federal one, Spokane County one. My information is somewhere floating around in a Chinese database and someone's making money off of it. So I'm sorry. They now have my address and my driver's license and whatever else stuff I gave them. I hope it was legit, but we'll see how this election goes. I'm more worried about the governor of my state. It's the most important thing to me right now. We'll see how this election goes. Like I said, just please keep the country running. Okay, I'm enjoying the whole comedy and podcast thing. I'm having fun with this. Life is pretty decent. Not for everybody. We'll admit, not for everybody. I know that. Okay, point of privilege. Just kidding. But please just don't ruin the country. Let's be nice. Let's be non-violent. And let's just love each other for our different views. Okay, can we do that? Please? Follow me on Instagram at cadenkaiserman. A reminder, I have a show this Sunday at Trailbreaker Cider in Liberty Lake. Sunday evening. I'll be posting details on that. Come see me do stand-up comedy. Also check out my link tree on my Instagram where you'll find my TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, all the jazz. I'll be posting any shows and updates on there. Thank you for joining us. Good night, America.